And welcome back to the channel. Today we have got our daily NBA predictions here for Thursday, March 6th. Make sure I didn't say best bets for college basketball like I did yesterday. Anyways, our NBA predictions here for Thursday, March 6th. We've got 6 games today in the National Basketball Association, headlined by a big one at the Staples Center, the Crypto.com Arena. The New York Knicks go on the road to take on the Los Angeles Lakers. Very excited for that basketball game. If you came from our college basketball video earlier today, yes, that still contains the parlay in that game. We'll get to that later. But 6 games today in the National Basketball Association, and we're going to predict every single one of them like we've been doing every single day this year here with the NBA season. And folks, before we get into the predictions, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions here on the channel. Earlier today, again, like I mentioned, we had our college basketball best bets. So make sure to check out that video. That is linked in the description down below. And also, make sure to go check out our UFC 313, Pereira versus Ankalaev predictions from the T-Mobile Arena this week in Las Vegas, Nevada. Again, it is the first video on Greedo Plays MMA, so make sure to go over to that channel, show some love, and subscribe on Greedo Plays MMA, while also subscribing to this channel as well, Greedo Plays. Okay, let's go on to the first of our 6 NBA games today, and we start in Orlando, Florida, with the Orlando Magic and the Chicago Bulls. I thought about taking Chicago here, but ultimately my thought process behind this is Orlando's not very good right now, and I don't know how good they're going to be for the rest of the season. They're still the 8th seed. They still have a game on the Hawks. I think Atlanta eventually is going to pass them, but we'll get to Atlanta in a minute. My thought process behind this one was Chicago healthy probably goes into Orlando and wins. I'm not joking. The way Chicago's playing right now, yes. I know Orlando's a great defensive team, but the problem with the Magic right now is that they're just not scoring. They're just not scoring the basketball. Relatively speaking to who they're playing, they're just not. 102 points against the Raptors, that's not good. That's a Toronto team that doesn't play the best defense. Yeah, they can score, but they don't play great defense. And Toronto, again, put up 104 points, which that's good for the Raps. But for a playoff team like the Magic, nah, you got to score more than that. This team's just struggling, and they're just coming out on the wrong side of a lot of close games. So my thought process was Bulls at full strength probably beat the Magic. So I'm talking Vucevic's been out, so honestly, I don't really care about that. Like, I like Vuce, but Zach Collins has been doing just fine. I'm talking about Lonzo Ball and Josh Giddey. I don't know if they're going to play. They're both questionable. Giddey didn't play their last game, and neither did Lonzo. Patrick Williams and Kevin Huerter both coming off the bench are questionable as well. I think Vuce is already out, which again, I mean, Zach Collins is going to be fine. He's doubtful. Yeah, no Vucevic. And Zach Collins, again, has actually done a very good job. But with all these injuries, I doubt both Lonzo and Giddey play. Now, I can't believe, again, I always, when I say this, I just can't believe the words are coming out of my mouth. But yes, Josh Giddey is the most valuable player to the Chicago Bulls right now. And ultimately, there's going to come a time later this year where the Chicago Bulls are in a play-in game, and ESPN's going to be forced to put Josh Giddey on the graphic for that game. I'm not joking. They might put Vucevic on it, but if they've been watching, and hopefully Josh Giddey continues on this streak he's been on, Josh Giddey is going to be on the ESPN game day graphic between him and likely, honestly, Paolo Banchero in the 10-9 game in the play-in. Now, Brooklyn actually is only 2 games back, but don't think Brooklyn's going to gain a game today, and neither are the Sixers, because we'll talk about those games later. But, right, there's going to come a point where it will be Josh Giddey versus Paolo Banchero in a postseason basketball game, win or go home, right? I think the Magic not easily take this, but I think they take it. I don't know what the Bulls are going to be. The Magic are kind of due in all fairness. Now, Jalen Suggs is out for the season, which does really suck. So that means Cole Anthony is now a permanent starter. Anthony Black, obviously, will see an increase in minutes. He's always played, obviously, Anthony Black, but he's going to see even more minutes now. But Cole Anthony's questionable for this game. So there's a chance he doesn't even play either. So that means, yes, Anthony Black would have to play tonight and start, obviously. I'll say Cole Anthony probably plays the toe injury. I wouldn't expect him to miss this one with that. And Banchero's been playing really good ball, which sucks. I mean, Banchero has had 2 games where he scored 41 points and this team lost. Against the Warriors, he dropped 41. Against the Raptors, he dropped 41 points. And again, they lost both of those games. Banchero had 41, 8, and 8 in the second game against the Raptors. They lost. They lost back-to-back games to the Raptors, who are now only 4 games out of the play-in. I'm still taking Orlando. Again, Bulls at full strength. If we knew Giddey was playing, if we knew Lonzo was playing, and if we knew they were healthy going into it, like, sure, again, Giddey might play, but is he 100%? Probably not. So if those guys were healthy, if the stars of the Bulls were healthy, and I love Lonzo, but if the stars were healthy, stars, I'd actually take the Bulls to win. With those guys out, I do think it's more than a 7-point swing. I'm going to take Orlando to win in early spots this game and then just kind of continue that momentum as the game goes on. Give me Orlando here at home to take down the Chicago Bulls and cover the 6.5 points as well. We go on to our second game of the day, and we go to Atlanta, Georgia. The Atlanta Hawks take on the Indiana Pacers. I don't understand the odds. I don't get it. Guys, I like the Hawks as much as everyone else. I'm a huge Atlanta Hawks guy this year. Again, not many people like the Hawks more than I like the Hawks. Okay? The Pacers are going to destroy this team. Benedict Mathurin and Tyrese Halliburton are both questionable. I really like Tyrese. I hope he plays. But even if Tyrese doesn't play, Andrew Nembhard, he's not going to do what Tyrese has been doing recently. But Nembhard, I've always said this by Andrew Nembhard, and I said this earlier in the year when Tyrese was struggling. I said in spots, in big games, yeah, Andrew Nembhard can come through for you. Is he going to come through on a consistent basis for the entire season? Probably not. But in certain spots, yes. If you need Nembhard for one game, obviously hit big shots in the postseason last year for the Pacers when they made that run to the conference finals. Andrew Nembhard in one game can get you through it. I still think Tyrese is going to play today. Halliburton, again, is questionable with a hip injury. I expect Tyrese to play. Guys, Tyrese has been playing through injuries for the last year and a half. I don't think anything changes here. Mathurin, we'll see if he plays or not. I mean, Aaron Nesmith's been playing more and more, so again, yes, Mathurin is important, but Nesmith has been the guy in the starting lineup. And obviously, regardless if either of those guys play, Siakam's still playing, Miles Turner's still playing. Trust me, I really like the Atlanta Hawks. I do. Trae Young's playing, obviously he's probable, but Trae is playing, and Trae has been doing, he's been trying. Trae puts up 28 in the loss to the Bucks. He had a bad game against the Grizzlies, but Zachary Shai, the first overall pick this season, had a huge game against Memphis. Same did Karis LeVert, obviously hitting the game winner, and LeVert had some big shots down the stretch in the fourth quarter in that game. Still, though, this team has lost 3 of 4, losing to Miami, losing to OKC, beating Memphis, and then losing, obviously, their last game to the Milwaukee Bucks. Indiana's a very elite team. They play them twice today and Saturday. I hate to say this, but, at the same time, I like the Pacers more than I do the Hawks, personally, so who cares? Tyrese Halliburton is maybe my favorite player in the league. The Pacers are winning back-to-back games here. They're going to Atlanta and winning both of these. I'm sorry, this is how this is going to go. Not like Atlanta's going to fall out of anything, because the Bulls are right now the 10 seed. Atlanta's got 6.5 games on the Nets and the Sixers. They're going to be fine. I still think they will pass Orlando eventually, I think. But at the same time, there's only so many games that Shai, and I love Dyson Daniels. I think he deserves the Defensive Player of the Year. Because with Wemby now being hurt. Real quick, what are the depoy odds right now? I don't, probably Jaren Jackson maybe. Oh, Evan Mobley's one. Oh, makes sense. Mobley, Dyson Daniels, Jaren Jackson. They're going to give it to Mobley. But man, they should give it to Dyson Daniels. Oh, he's been playing some great basketball this season defensively. The Great Barrier Thief. That's before the nickname Renaissance. We were calling him the Great Barrier Thief. Get it? Because he's Australian. Anyways, I like the Hawks. I don't like them that much, though. Like, again, I love Trae Young. The Pacers are just way better. I can't confidently tell you the Hawks are going to win this game at home. I, in fact, really like Indiana here. So, again, there's not many times I pick against the Atlanta Hawks, so trust me, it's a big deal when I do. And I'm telling you outright, I love Indiana on the road tonight in Atlanta, Georgia. Regardless of if Halliburton plays or not, I still like the Pacers to go into Atlanta and dominate. Indiana, yes, they both play really fast, but Indiana's just better at it than Atlanta is. It's been that way for the last couple seasons. Give me the Indiana to beat Atlanta. The Pacers go on the road and win. Next up, we go to our third game of the day, the Sixers. Oh, wow. Philadelphia goes on the road to take on the Boston Celtics. Why is this game on national television? I get it. TNT makes these schedules a while ago. The Pacers and the Hawks is a much better basketball game. Yes, there's going to be no defense played, but that's a fun game between two, young stars and Trae Young. I know Trae's been around for a while now, but Trae and Tyrese Halliburton. Why the hell are you forcing people to... Well, no one's going to watch this game, but why are the Philadelphia 76ers on national television tonight? Beats me. They are 14.5-point dogs on the road in Boston. They have won one game since February 5th, and that was a win over the Golden State Warriors on March 1st. They've lost back-to-back at home, or one at home and one on the road. Portland beat them in Philly by 17. They go to Minneapolis, lose by 14 to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're horrible. They're so bad. And Embiid out for the year, obviously. McCain out for the year. Maxey out tonight. Kyle Lowry out tonight. Unfortunately, Paul George probably playing tonight, which hurts the Sixers, what I was getting to. They're so horrible. Eric Gordon out. Man. Boston is coming off second half of a back-to-back, but they played a much tougher team than what Philly is. Portland's much better than them. Just be honest, Portland's much better than Philly, and that was apparent a couple games ago. Boston is a weird one. Derek White and Peyton Pritchard scored 40 plus. I think Pritchard had 43 and White had 41. Odd, very odd. I'm not gonna lie. First time in Celtics team history, two guys in the same game scored 40 plus points, and it happens to be Derek White and Peyton Pritchard. What? Anyways, good for them. They were very injured going into that game yesterday. No Tatum, no Kristaps, no Drew Holiday. I expect at least two of these guys to play tonight. There's a reason they didn't play yesterday. They didn't want to play the first half of a back-to-back. They're going to come out and play Philly. Ultimately, the Portland game doesn't mean much to them. It's Portland. They play them twice a year. Philadelphia beat this team in the Boston Garden on Christmas. And I don't care Joel Embiid's and Tyrese Maxey's not playing this time around. Boston still wants to beat this team. It actually means something to them to go play the Boston Celtics. No disrespect to the Portland Trailblazers, but considering their spot in the league compared to the Boston Celtics, Portland Trailblazers they do not mean anything to the Celtics, and they still beat them, obviously. But Tatum, Porzingis, and Drew Holiday likely play tonight. And they're going to beat down the Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers, again, are just horrible at basketball. There's no other way to put it. They're just bad. Paul George is washed. Guys, Quentin Grimes scored 30 points against the Timberwolves, led them in scoring. He scored 44 in the win over the Warriors on Saturday, March 1st. When Quentin Grimes is leading your team in scoring, there's not much I can say about you if I'm being honest. Boston by a million. The Sixers are just horrible. They're bad. Like, the Sixers and the Mavs are just going to start losing so many games. Well, the Sixers have been losing. They're about to be 20 games under 500, and they're still only 3 games out the plan. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Boston. Expect Tatum, Holiday, and Porzingis to likely play. So, give me Boston at home. Next up, we go on to the other team in the Eastern Conference playoffs, or Eastern Conference play-in conundrum. The Brooklyn Nets take on the Golden State Warriors at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Great, what a game. Warriors spread on the road. I'm seeing now 10.5 of these graphics an hour ago. I'm recording this video at 3 in the morning, so at 2 in the morning it was Warriors minus 9.5. That's what the graphic is, where it is. Maybe it stays at 9.5 when you get it. If you want to play it, it's at 10.5 now. I like the Indiana game most today, by the way, and then the Lakers. But anyways, this is kind of playable. Warriors minus 9.5 on the road. This team's been very good on this road trip, other than the Sixers game, which is kind of weird because of all games. You're going to lose that one. But on the road trip, they're 3-1 so far. This is the end of it. They return home on Saturday to take on the Pistons, but they beat Orlando. Obviously, that was the Curry 56-point game. They lose in Philly, beat Charlotte, beat New York. That's a huge win over the Knicks. It's a really good win over the Knicks, right? Winning that game at Madison Square Garden by 12 points. I didn't think they were going to win that game. They do. Now, Cat didn't play, but still. Obviously, Cat has to return against the Lakers tonight, but whatever. Anyways, it's okay. The Warriors are playing good ball, right? I can't deny it, right? They've won, 7 out of their last 8? This is a good basketball team. It is. Steph Curry's playing very well this season. Jimmy Butler is a great help to this team. Shout out to the Pythagorean Theorem. That's his nickname, Brandon Podziemski. Yes, the nickname Renaissance, right? Got to talk about it. Kuminga, I don't think's back yet. Kuminga's still out, so gonna have to bookmark the Kuminga return likely, and it's probably expected he's gonna make that return after the road trip. So expect Kuminga to probably come back on Saturday against the Pistons. But even without Kuminga, obviously the Warriors are still gonna go into Brooklyn and win. The Nets, I do think they're going to start winning some games. They do have a tougher schedule than the Bulls do, I think, down the stretch. Yeah, definitely. But I do think they're gonna start winning more because Cam Thomas did have a decent game in his last one, dropped 24 points against the San Antonio Spurs. Now they still went to San Antonio and lost. I felt decently solid about. I felt good. That's just a better way of putting it. I felt good about the Nets going to San Antonio and covering. Obviously, they didn't come through in that spot, so thanks. But I think they are going to eventually get better. Cam Thomas, again, 24 points. He's only going to improve coming off that long injury. D'Lo says he loves being in Brooklyn. I think he wants an extension because, he's getting to, the usage rate's up. Oh, great. Yeah. Stay in Brooklyn, man. Even though I saw him and Kat on a podcast and D'Lo was saying, watching the Timberwolves, I really think, man, they need a guy like me. Yeah. The Timberwolves need D'Angelo Russell. Dante DiVincenzo, I arguably rather have as my point guard. I'm just being honest. I think the Nets are going to start winning some games. I don't think it's yet. But the thing is, their schedule's so bad. They'll beat Charlotte on Saturday, but then they got to go play Lakers, Cleveland, an actually really important game next Thursday in Chicago, like play-in wise. But yeah, Brooklyn's lost 5 in a row. Washington, OKC, Portland, Detroit, San Antonio. Ever since I announced, hey, Brooklyn might be back. Like they beat Philly, the Nick Claxton game winner, and I was thinking, all right, hold on here. I think Brooklyn might get Chicago and catch up to them. But then they lost in Washington to the Wizards. No more hope. No more hope. Give me the Warriors to dominate in Brooklyn and beat the Brooklyn Nets and cover the 9.5 points or 10.5 points, regardless of what you get. Warriors on the road in Brooklyn. We go on to our 5th game of the night, and we go to New Orleans, Louisiana. An odd case where I am taking the dog on a short spread, but not picking them to win the game. Ultimately, I really don't care who wins the game. I think this is a game that does go down to the final buzzer. All right? I think it does. Regardless of who wins, whether it be the Pels, whether it be the Rockets, I really don't care who wins. I'm taking Pels plus 4.5. Again, I hesitantly put Rockets money line at the bottom of the screen, but I'm not playing Rockets money line tonight. Not at all. I don't even know if I'm playing Pelicans spread. I like the Pacers and the Lakers games better. But I don't mind the Pels at all in this spot. Yeah, they just went to Los Angeles and got beat down by the Lakers, but the Lakers are an elite team in this league. And Zion Williamson, quietly, because he is playing on a team that's 17-45, Zion's playing great ball now. Coming off the injury, Williamson, and the Pelicans gotta be happy, because I still don't think Zion's part of the long-term future here in New Orleans, just because the Zion era seems like it's close to being over, but the Pels have to be excited, because man, the package they're gonna get for Zion Williamson this offseason, a healthy Zion, big time, huge. Don't know where Zion's gonna go, I really don't. But wherever Williamson goes, yes, the Pelicans are going to get a bunch of stuff in return for him. I think they play the Rockets really close tonight. The Rockets have lost 3 in a row. Kings, Thunder, Pacers. This team is 12 games over, but they have been really struggling as of late. It's the fall-off that I predicted a long time ago and kind of cooled off on because I was like, all right, this seems kind of legit. Now the fall-off is coming. This is the first of 2 games against the Pels. Both these teams will go to Houston after this game to play, again, the same exact spot against the Rockets in Houston on Sunday night. And the Rockets have a very long home stretch after. Pels, Magic, Suns, Mavs, Bulls, Sixers all at home. They don't return back to the road until Wednesday, March 19th. But this team hasn't been all that good recently. Yeah, again, Şengün came back from injury. They still lost in Indiana because the Pacers are good. But, man, I don't know. I don't care who wins. I can see the Rockets winning a close one, but the spread plus 4.5, it is intriguing with the Pelicans, considering the way Zion's been playing. CJ McCollum's been solid all year long, and Trey Murphy, again, is a 20-point-per-game scorer this season. And Zion, again, when Zion's healthy, and he's showed recently, yeah, Williamson's elite when he's healthy. So give me the Pels actually to cover the 4.5 points. Don't care who wins. Pelicans plus 4.5, though, is the pick for me. Let's go into our final game of the day. It's the biggest game of the day. Los Angeles Lakers at home take on the New York Knicks. So again, if you watched our video for college basketball earlier today, you know that the first half of our parlay for this was Illinois State money line against Missouri State in Arch Madness in the Missouri Valley Conference. Now that game starts at 12:30, so you still have time to put that parlay in if you're watching this video at 10 o'clock when it drops. That's the first half of the parlay. The second half of the parlay is Lakers money line. I do think the Lakers still probably cover the 4.5 points, but on a game like this, I do feel much better about them just taking them to win outright. Like hell. Look at that first Clippers game. They're winning for most of the game, but the Clippers do make a comeback in the fourth quarter. They only win the game by 4 points. That's been the problem with the Lakers a little bit, right? They will end quarters really badly. And again, they'll still win games, right? But that's the difference at points between having an 11-point lead and a 4-point lead going into whatever quarter they're going into, obviously. So Lakers don't close quarters very well. But they do get Austin Reeves back tonight. They looked great even without Reeves, but now you add AR back into the equation, and my goodness, this team is even better. Now, the Lakers have a very long injury report. Rui Hachimura is still out probably for a couple more weeks. It has been said that Maxi Kepler is probably coming back for the playoffs. That's big. That just adds another guy into this rotation. Luka probable, LeBron probable, AR probable, no Markieff Morris. Whoops. Jordan Goodwin, though, if he can play, he's another valuable guy in the rotation. I really hope Goodwin plays because, again, the defensive unit the Lakers have brought, my goodness, Goodwin, DFS, Vando, Trey Jemison. These defensive-minded players have been so good for the Lakers, and really, you don't need many scorers on this team. You don't. You got Braun, got AR, you got Luka. The rest of these guys just need to be very good defensively, and obviously you're going to get your scorers off the bench, like Gabe Vincent, who's been very cold, but Dalton Connect, right? I mean, Connect can score off the bench. Obviously, one of Luka or LeBron is always on the court at all times. And Jackson Hayes, guys, LeBron and Luka Doncic are going to get Jackson Hayes paid in the offseason, right? Jackson Hayes is going to be considered and I know, again, he's very Luka stat padded, but either Jackson Hayes comes back to the Lakers in the offseason, or he's going to go somewhere else, and he's going to get it back. He's going to get it back somewhere because he's been playing great basketball for this team, right? And Trey Jemison, I think this is a real stat still. The Lakers are undefeated in games where Trey Jemison III has played. I kind of laugh when I watch Trey Jemison just because every time I see the guy, I just think of that one edit that's on TikTok of Trey Jemison and Dwight Howard. It just because fans are comparing Trey Jemison to Dwight Howard. He's like the next Dwight for this team. All right. It's the I'm chasing a ghost thing on TikTok. It's kind of funny. I'm not going to lie. Anyways, I really like the Lakers to beat the Knicks because the Knicks lost to the Warriors. The Warriors are good. The Lakers are just much better. The Knicks, when they play elite teams, they lose. Last 3 elite teams they play. I'm not counting the Grizzlies. I'm not counting them. The Grizzlies are not. Actually, if we're counting the Warriors, we got to count the Grizzlies. Okay. Because actually, the Warriors aren't elite, though. Boston and Cleveland, they lost on the road. There. Those are elite teams. Guys, when we really consider the 4 title challengers this season and the 4 teams with the highest odds to win the NBA title, in order, I think it's OKC, Boston, Cleveland, Lakers. Okay. The Knicks are obviously not part of that, but they've already lost to Cleveland and Boston recently. Those are 2 of the top title challengers. They lost to the Lakers on February 1st without Luka, without AD. That was in the process where, Luka just got traded, but he's still hurt. So no Davis, obviously. And it's just LeBron and friends and AR winning the game in New York against the Knicks. And if we want to talk about another elite team, well, they played OKC twice early in January 3rd and January 10th. OKC beat them twice, one in the Garden, one in Oklahoma City. The Knicks don't beat the Elite Four. And yes, I'm going to start coining them the Elite Four because these are the 4 best teams in the NBA. Thunder, Cavs, Celtics, Lakers. Those are the best 4, okay? Outside of that, I don't even know who to put, honestly, because then you get the next tier with Denver, Milwaukee, New York, yes, the Knicks, Grizzlies, Warriors, Pacers. And then it's the next tier of Rockets, Timberwolves, Pistons, Clippers, Kings. Yeah, and then it's the next tier of just everyone else. Mavs, I guess. Mavs, Heat, Magic, Hawks, Bulls, Suns, Blazers. And then there's just everyone else. Those are the tiers in the NBA. The Knicks are going to struggle, and they have struggled with elite teams all year long. Now, Karl-Anthony Towns did not play the Warriors game. He's back. Classic. Used to at this point. Precious Achiuwa, questionable. Mitchell Robinson, questionable. OG Anunoby, questionable. All 3 of them are playing. It's just what happens. These guys are not missing a Lakers game. And Tom Thibodeau is not going to have 3 guys in his 8-man rotation not play tonight. Actually, I think the rotation's 9 now, so shout out to... Actually, no, Achiuwa's not really part of the main rotation, though. No, it's still 8. Yeah, well, sometimes Achiuwa plays. It depends on the injuries. Regardless, Mitchell Robinson's back, so Achiuwa's role goes down. Regardless, I like the Lakers. Guys, this team is so great defensively. They've been showing it every single night, and they're a problem. They're a problem because you have to deal with one of Luka or LeBron in the court at all times. Luka and LeBron automatically have made Jackson Hayes so much better recently, and AR is back in the lineup as well. DFS, Goodwin, Vando, Jemison, the defensive unit. The scorers off the bench. Gabe Vincent, got to pick it up, pal. But Vincent, Connect, Shake Milton, Bronny, right? Okay. I love Bronny, but hey, he scored last game, right? One of those big Bronny layups. Anyways, the PPLs, the big Bronny layups. I like what the Lakers got going on, man. Again, I think they're winning the chip this year. I'm not joking. I think the Lakers are winning. So give me Los Angeles. I need to think of a Lakers in 5. Oh God. I can't think of one. I can't think of one. Lonzo Ball, LeVar Ball, LaMelo Ball, LiAngelo Ball. You can have a ball. You can throw a ball. Lakers in 5. They're beating the New York Knicks at home. I like Los Angeles to take care of business. Cover the 4.5 points, but for us, we're just hoping they cover the second half of our parlay with Illinois State. So Illinois State money line, Lakers money line, gets you plus 120. Give me the Lake Show at home to continue the momentum, get 40 wins to 40-21. This team's winning the chip this season. Lakers at home, Lakers in 5. They beat the Knicks. Folks, thank you all for watching our NBA predictions here for March 6th. If you haven't yet, though, make sure that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure you leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank you all for watching, and Mamba forever.